This is a short revision video which is going to analyse the role of Soraya in the Kite Runner, particularly as a portrayal of the way women were treated in the Afghan society of the time. This video is going to be really quick because Soraya is such a minor character, but I think she does portray so much about the culture that I felt it was really necessary to do a video about her. I might make a few references to General Tahiri, her father, as well, because he also portrays quite a lot about society. He tells us a lot about the typical Afghan male. I mean, he's the stereotypical Afghan male of the time. I think that the big extract you want to look at for Soraya is from page 150 to about page 152 in the blue edition of the Kite Runner, the 10th anniversary edition. If you've got a different edition, it's somewhere near the middle of the book, essentially. But you might also want to look at the way she looks after Baba. She takes on the role of the carer for Baba. It's important to note the way that she stays strong despite the fact that she's unable to have a child, when in the Afghan culture at the time, from what I can take from the book, obviously I don't know enough about Afghan culture to say this for definite, but I think at the time they placed a great emphasis in Afghan families on the ability to have children. The fact that she couldn't have children, have a family of her own, would have certainly crushed her, but she managed to stay strong through that and support Amir in his quest to go find Sohrab, support Baba when he was dying of cancer, stuff like that. Incidentally, none of these quotes are actually from Soraya herself, simply because Soraya has very little to say beyond her monologue on page 151. But Soraya essentially personifies the whole Afghan view towards females, the fact they were second-class citizens within the society. If we look at the top quote, it's taken from their first encounter, or not their first encounter, it's the encounter the first time when they're speaking. When Amir goes to get cokes, but then starts asking her, what she's reading, does she want to read one of his stories? And he says, Amir himself says that the things people would be talking about wouldn't be the fact he was speaking to her, the fact that she was, accepting the fact that he was speaking to her and answering back. If you look at the second quote here, we've got Baba saying, idle talk proved lethal to a young woman's prospect of marrying well. And here we have the last two words, marrying well, which shows the major emphasis in Afghan culture was to marry well, to marry someone in the same sort of class as you, to marry someone that would be equal towards you in that sort of sense. And here we can actually relate it to Ram Khan's story when Ram Khan tells Amir, I think it's Amir's party, when he says, I wanted to marry the servant but my father said no. We've got here the whole idea you have to marry someone that is of your level. So here we've got the whole idea of culture and marriage coming in as very important things in Afghan society. And if we look at General Tahiri here, the emphasis that General Tahiri places on the fact that he wants his daughter to marry well, when he goes in when she's with that guy she ran away with, he forces her to come away because he says, this isn't the person I want you with, I want you to be with someone of your class, someone of your level. We even have Amir saying in this bit that his pride's been stung by the fact that she's been with another man. This is the emphasis they have on purity in marriage in the Afghan culture. From the last quote there, we can see that this issue only occurs in one direction, so if the man's been with other women, this isn't such a great sort of dishonour to the family, it's not such a bad thing. Whereas if the woman has been with other men, this is a serious issue in terms of the ability of her to be able to get into a relationship. I mean, quote 2, if people, hear that a woman's been with someone else, she will not be able to marry well. Hence, right at the beginning of the novel, there's that element of surprise that Ali's wife, Sanuba, or whatever her name was, that actually married Ali, and Ali actually accepted to marry her, because although she was his first cousin, she sort of got around a bit, and he was a very good Muslim, and they were sort of saying that's not really what you'd expect in an Afghan culture. You wouldn't expect a man to get with a woman that's been with a few other men. That's probably one of the worst videos I've ever made, so I'm a bit sorry about that, but I just thought it was really important to make a video about Soraya and the way that she personifies the views that people have towards Afghan women. I mean, without Soraya, we would probably find it quite difficult from reading this novel alone to see the extent of the divide in society. I mean, we've got the divide between Hazaras and Pashtuns, but from the character of Soraya, we can see the massive divide between males and females in Afghan society as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed this mini-series about all the characters in the Kite Runner. It's helped you in some way. Best of luck in the exam, and goodbye. Have a lovely day.